The following's been brought to you by Alpha Aesthetics Partners.
You probably don't want people to know that, but...
No, I love sharing my age.
Okay.
I really do.
Let's talk about it then.
I'm 53. I'll be 54 this year.
You decided to come back and you were like, I'm in it to win it. So you worked really hard.
I'd lost all this weight, got really fit. And then I was like, are they going to even let me compete? I'm going to be 6.5 months pregnant doing a swimsuit competition. What are they going to say when I tell them? And I said, hey, what's your secret? Like, what did you do in your parenting? And he said, there's 3 things you need to know. The first one is example. The second one is example. And the third one is example. If you want your kids to turn out a certain way, you better be the example of that way. Every single time we've had a trial and we've come out the other side, it just takes my testimony to another level of like, yep, that was meant for me. I was chosen to endure that. I was chosen to be an example through that to my kids and my friends and my family. I'm not perfect at it, by the way. I'm scared. I'm super scared.
What are you scared of?
To fail publicly. Like, that's hard to do. Like, stick your neck out there, share your story, and be vulnerable in front of an audience is scary, but do it anyway. The word excited is such an understatement, and it's so overused. I don't even want to go there, but that is all I can think of right now of how excited I am. I'm like a kid.
You've been talking about this for a long time.
The night before Christmas. You are the one who has told me I need to be doing this years ago. And so I'm so excited to finally be here today on my first episode. Although in the future, I will be the one interviewing everyone. I'm really excited to have my son on today. It's Bring Your Son to Work Day.
Yeah.
He came in from LA, and you'll be doing the interviewing to help our guests, our anyone who's willing to listen to it, know me a little bit better. Yeah. And I feel like besides my husband, my children know me the absolute best on this earth. The good, the bad, the ugly. And you're probably the most comfortable in front of a camera with a microphone.
I thought it was just that I was your favorite.
Well,
out of the 4.
I mean, right now you are.
You say that to everyone. You tell everyone your favorite child is whoever's in front of you.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So anyway, thank you for coming, Austin. I love you.
No, of course. I love you too. You know, we've done a podcast together once before on my podcast that I'm terrible at maintaining, but it's been years. And I'm grateful you'd ask me to interview you. So I want people to know a little bit more about you, where you're from, what your history is, you know, where we're at right now, and kind of your age. You know, you probably don't want people to know that, but...
No, I love sharing my age.
Okay.
I really do.
Let's talk about it then.
I'm 53. I'll be 54 this year. And, you know, I've never felt better about myself physically or mentally. And so I'm proud of it.
You got to tell people we were together traveling this past weekend, and this is so awkward, but I'm 33, so I'm just getting older. And as a man, I feel like I'm just looking more like a grown man and not in my young 20s anymore. And you're just getting younger because you work
because I work for Dr. Rice.
Yeah, you work for Dr. Rice. So we were out of town this weekend together, just the two of us, visiting a friend in Florida. And we were at this event, and you got to tell people what kept happening to us.
It was so, like, as a mom, there's nothing cringier. And I think it's like a compliment people think they're saying, but it is so, like, not cool. They're like, oh, that's your mom? I thought you guys were dating.
Multiple times.
First off,
we
he
were getting
could do
told this.
So much better than me. Like,
thank you.
At my age. And by the way, he is single, so anyone that's interested in that, DM me. But yeah, I'm like, I don't want that. And we even shared a hotel room. And so we had to check into the hotel, and we're both standing there, and I was just, that's all I could think about was like,
you were looking for a reason to tell the front desk person, like,
that's my son. That's my son. And then he's like, I have you down for 2 queen beds. And I was like, yes, definitely 2 beds.
But it happened like 3 times in a row. I was like, I'm getting tired of hearing this. But anyways, you are getting younger. You're 53 years old. You had me right after you got married. You want to kind of tell a short version of your story of, you know, getting married, having kids, starting a family?
I fell in love rapidly. I was 19 years old and was not wanting to get married. I was going to become a commercial pilot like my father, and was headstrong in that path. And then I met this guy, and I hate this term because I think people assume when you say player, it means you're promiscuous. And I wasn't. I mean it more of like, I was playing the field. I was having the time of my life, dating tons of people. I had a fake ID. I was in the clubs. I was living
You were
it up.
what, 18, 19?
I was 18 when I met him. It was almost about to turn 19. And this guy came along, older than me, 5 years older than me. And I just like fell fast and furious in love, which was so out of character for me.
It was like 2 months before you guys were engaged, right?
Yes. And it was out of character for me. It flipped everybody out that I was so young and crazy in love. And we just really wanted to be married. And we were married 8 months later.
Yeah.
And then I came home from the honeymoon pregnant unintentionally, trying to avoid that. But God had a better plan.
And that was me.
And here you are.
Yeah.
Some of my best work.
I mean, I agree. I always think it's interesting because of my job. And one of the reasons why I think you asked me to do this is because I work in the beauty industry, and people always ask me how I started in the beauty industry. And I always tell the story of you and Dad and how you guys met. It's pertinent to your guys' love story and how you guys kind of came together. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was in a pageant. And they had hired this male model to be in the opening number. My husband used to be a model for an agency out of San Francisco, Japan, Italy, traveled the world modeling. And he was just this really hot guy that everyone, all the delegates were like swooning over. And I was like, well, I'm not giving that dude any attention. Like, he's probably got the biggest ego ever. And I literally didn't. And all my friends were like trying to hit on him. And he was dating the former title holder at the time. And I just was like, he's probably such a, you know what, like, I'm just not interested in that dude. And so we never talked. And then I was supposed to be at a party for one of those said friends that he was dating.
I love this part.
And he was one of those like frenemies where, you know, you don't feel like that person's got your back, but you're kind and you're in the same friend circle. And I just didn't want to go to her party. And so I went out to the clubs with my roommate. And he was supposed to be at that party too. I would assume he was dating her. And I saw him across the club and I was like, oh man, he's going to tell her I was here and I didn't go to her party. And I didn't once think about like, same for him, right? Like, I'm going to tell on him. And so I was actually avoiding him. And I was actually standing at the bar with a guy who had just bought me a drink. And he walked up to me and asked me to dance. And I gave the guy my glass. I went and danced. And
didn't you dance the whole night with him?
the whole night. The rest is history.
Yeah. 2 months later, you're engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you guys met through pageants, beauty
Yes.
pageants, and that's an industry I work in now. So people are always asking our connections to the beauty industry in that world. And now you work in it as well, working for Dr. Rice. So there's just so many tie-ins, I feel like, with our family and the history of how our family started.
Right.
And you guys are both from the Sacramento area.
We are. I grew up in Folsom and he grew up in Cameron Park, El Dorado Hills area. So it's kind of funny. We were close in proximity, but he's 5 years older than me. So we never really crossed paths. And I feel like I need to like go back and rectify the fact that he's actually not who I thought he was. He's actually.
What do you mean?
Meaning like I thought this male model, all the girls coming after him, like he was egocentric. And he was a complete gentleman, like waited a month to ask me if he could kiss me. Like
A month?
Yeah. Yeah. And if you put that together with being engaged 2 months later, like.
What the heck?
I know. We're a Nicholas Sparks book. Totally. But
I don't think so. No one's going to wait a month in a Nicholas Sparks movie.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. He was just so proper and sweet and took me on really great thought out dates. And yeah, he's a complete gentleman.
And then you want to talk about how many more kids you have? Because it's not just me.
It's not just you. Yeah. I have 4 children and 5 grandchildren and a son-in-law and a daughter-in-law who I feel like are also my children. So I am the proud mama of 6 adult children.
Yeah.
And even prouder grandma.
And people love seeing that you're grandma. It's like they do a double take. They're like, wait, you have 5 grandkids?
Oh, it's so funny when we go in public and Lily, she lives near me. So I spend a little more time with her than the other ones just because of proximity. But we'll be places like we were at the Nordstrom shoe department and this lady, she goes, Grandma, will you get me these shoes or whatever? And the lady goes, Grandma? And I said, oh, yes, she's my granddaughter. And she goes, you could not be her grandmother. There's no way you cannot be her grandmother. And I was like, thank you so much. That's so nice. And then we walk away and Lily's like, and she's 5. And she goes, that lady was rude. That is so rude to say you can't be my grandma.
She's feisty.
So, yeah.
Before we get to where you're at now with grandkids and stuff, I think people should know a little bit about your journey as a mom. Because like our whole childhood, you were a stay-at-home mom. There were times I love the parts of the story where you had to go work at night for our family just to, make ends meet. But for the most part, you were a stay-at-home mom our whole childhood. And then things kind of changed as we got older and we're growing up and moving out of the house. You want to talk a little bit about that? Sure.
So, I came from a single mom. My parents got divorced when I was 1.5. And I always had a mom who worked, and sometimes 2 jobs. And so we were called, back in the day, it's called latchkey kids. We wore a key around our necks,
Yeah.
and that's how you got in the house, and you tucked it in your shirt and went to school like that every day. And so I was always jealous of the kids that had a parent present all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with women that work and women that don't work. For me, I grew up in a different way, and I wanted to do it my way. And so I knew from the very beginning when I was dating your dad that I was like, hey, how do you feel about me staying home to raise our family? And he was like, absolutely. I think it's crucial in today's time. So I had the opportunity to do that. And it wasn't always easy because, raising 4 kids in Folsom is expensive. And
California, yeah.
We didn't want to have you guys miss out on anything, whether it was music lessons or swim team or, whatever it was. We always had you signed up for something. And that took a lot. It was a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah. I always say I never felt like our childhood was lacking in any way. Like we always had activities, sports, trips. Now I think back as a 33-year-old when I go on a trip, like I'll order room service or something, and I think of my childhood, like we were not staying in a hotel that even had room service. It was like a Best Western or something, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as a kid, you don't notice a difference. I just, was appreciative that we always would go to Disneyland and stuff like that. And then there were times where you had to go waitress when, we were kids at night.
I loved it, actually.
Getting away from us?
No, I loved you guys, but I would go wait tables 1 or 2 nights a week during the week.
Yeah.
When your dad was home from work, and I made bank. Like it was so fun to hustle and bustle, and like it was great. And I would pay for Christmas. Like I'd save my tips, and that's how I paid for all of our Christmas presents. And
I think that's so you though. Like people need to get to know you and your personality type, because whether it's waiting tables or working with Dr. Rice or working as a flight attendant, you're going to succeed at anything you do. And you were always a good example to us of, pursuing your dreams or whatever it is you're doing. Even if it's not a dream, I don't think your dream was to wait tables, but to do it 110% and to be the best at it. And so I remember as a kid, didn't you like move up?
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, of course, but it's true. Didn't you like move up when you were waiting tables at Macaroni Grill, and then all of a sudden you were like training people or something?
I was Brinker Corporation, who owned that restaurant at the time, came in, and I became a trainer for all the Macaroni Grills in the area. And then I became a trainer for corporate and just teaching servers the niceties of serving people and how to do it properly.
Yeah. And I think that's something you and even Dad are so good at, like communicating with customers and stuff, because we talk about it all the time in my business. I have an admin assistant and have had different ones over the years, and it's always a struggle to get people to have the savvy or the finesse of speaking to customers in a way that is friendly but assertive. And I don't know, it's just something that you guys are really good at, and I think you kind of like pass that down to us kids as well. And it doesn't surprise me that you were obviously doing better and better. So then when you finished waiting tables, you were still a stay-at-home mom. Our last sister, Olivia, she is, I guess maybe you should start by saying how old all of our siblings are. I'm 33.
So I've got you, 33, single.
Yeah.
And
we know.
And then my next daughter, Savannah, and she's married to her husband, Dylan, and they have 3 beautiful girls. And then I have another son, Connor. He's a firefighter, and he's married to one of my best friends, Emma, and they have 2 children. And then we have the bonus baby surprise, whoops-a-daisy, Liv, and she's quite a few years, 7 years younger than the rest of you. And she's our bookend.
And you thought you couldn't get pregnant. So that was a big deal, because I love telling that story to people. They ask how many siblings I have, and for a while it was just the 3 of us, and you thought you could never get pregnant again. And then tell the story of how you found out about
Olivia. It's crazy. So I was actually on birth control because I was trying to do some form of regulation. And back in the day, that's kind of what they always recommended for women, just slap that sticker on it. So I was on that, and I was just sort of like not liking the smell of lip gloss and all these things. And I had just won Mrs. California.
Yeah, that's the part.
I was like, I'm done having kids. I'm going to go do this fun thing and compete for Mrs. California. And I won, and I was feeling really good about myself. And I needed to go to nationals in Vegas and compete for Mrs. United States against 52 other women, and getting in shape and doing all these things. And it's like the smell of toothpaste or lip gloss or things like that were starting to make me nauseous. And my best friend at the time was like, I know you, and I think you might be pregnant. And I was like, there's no way. I haven't even had a cycle.
And you had just won Mrs. California. Like you came home from winning.
And she went, and bought a test and was like, just take it. Just take the test. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so dumb. I took it and it lit right up. And I was like, oh. I was shook. We had a little tiny 3-bedroom townhouse. Like we had the perfect size car for our lifestyle. Like it was just like such a shock. And I finally went to the doctor to get checked, and I was 11 weeks pregnant with her and had
almost 3 months pregnant.
Yeah. And I had no clue.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Some people they don't understand, like 3 months pregnant is, you're very pregnant.
Yes.
You're not finding out at 3 months.
Yeah. I was past the, the hard parts in the beginning. So I had to make the decision, am I going to go and compete at Mrs. United States? And I was like toying with it and going back and forth, and people were like, oh, you're going to be
You were going to give it up?
Well, no, I was just sort of like so shook, not sure what to say, what to do, if they would let me keep it. I don't know. No one had ever done that before.
And you had worked really hard for that, I feel like.
I did.
Because the year before was your first pageant since before you were married.
Yeah.
And you got second runner-up, and then you decided to come back and you were like, I'm in it to win it. So you worked really, really hard.
I'd lost all this weight, got really fit, did all these things. And then I was like, are they going to even let me compete? I'm going to be 6.5 months pregnant doing a swimsuit competition on a big old stage in Vegas. Like what are they going to say when I tell them? And then I prayed about it, to be honest with you. And I was like, no, like, what am I teaching my daughters, or my daughter at the time? Like if I say, no, I'm going to give it to somebody else. Being pregnant is not a liability. It's a blessing. And it should be something that we honor in women and that we recognize as more beautiful than ever. And so I was like, I'm going and I'm competing in swimsuit, and I'm just going to be like so authentic. And it was really funny because I remember one of the delegates was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, and we were at the buffet during rehearsals at Nationals. And she was like, oh, don't you wish you could come back when you're not pregnant and look better? And I was like, actually, no, I'm going to have a second piece of chocolate cake, and all of you guys are watching everything you eat. So it was really fun. And
how'd you do?
I completed, I think it was second runner-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of 52 women.
Full on pregnant, like 6 months pregnant, big belly. I remember you went and got a dress. I think it was like, what, $100 or something? It was
actually
from Macy's?
$57.
$57. And you got second runner up. People were in multi-$1,000 gowns, and you just were like, I'm going to be me and do it. And you got second runner up. And then Olivia came a few months later, and she's kind of our surprise last sibling.
They asked me in the interview for that pageant, they were like, how do you think you're going to do this job as Mrs. United States with a new baby and 3 kids? And I said, I'm not reinventing the wheel. Women have been doing this for years. Like, you want something done, give it to a woman with kids. She's going to show you how to get it all done.
I love that.
That was fun.
So how old is Liv? Did you tell her?
She's 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
21, goes to school in Utah. She actually lives with our other sister, which is really cool. I think, they're very happy to be together. She's like a little built-in nanny.
Well, and Olivia was in the 6th grade when Savannah left for college. So they hadn't lived together for a really long time. So it was pretty exciting for them to get to kind of rekindle like that sisterhood of living under the same roof, sharing clothes, all the good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And then as soon as most of us were out of high school, Savannah had moved to Hawaii to be with her husband. And I have lived in LA for 15 years. And then you decided you wanted to go back to work, I think it was a little bit of both, wanted and needed to get a job. And
yeah, we needed, my husband was starting his own business, and we needed your dad. I should say my husband and your dad. And we needed benefits for our youngest son. He has a liver disease. And so he requires at that time quite a bit of medical care. So I needed a good job with a stable income that also provided benefits so we could grow a business at home. And so I went into, my dad was a pilot my whole life. And I was like, you know what? I never did get to become a pilot. So I think I'll do the next best thing and apply to become a flight attendant. So we got
hired right away, as usual. Anything she does is like, you rise to the top super fast. That was
cool. That was a cool experience. They had, I think, 78,000 people apply for 1,100 positions that year. So I was like, there's no way I'm getting a job. I haven't had a job in like 15 years or something. There's no way they're going to hire me. But they took a chance on me, and that was pretty cool.
So tell me your journey as a flight attendant a little bit, because it was chaotic and short, and COVID was involved. And
yeah, it was, you know what? I'm glad I did it. It's like, check. I got to experience aviation as a career, traveled all over the world. But there were times like I'd be in Taiwan for like a 34-hour layover by myself. And it was good for me in the sense that I learned to be alone. So I would go on a hike. I'd go see these temples. I'd experience the food, the markets, all the things by myself. And the hardest part was I'm such a family oriented person that going and doing those things, it always felt like people were missing. And I was experiencing things without the people I love the most. So although it was really good for me personally to reconnect with who I was without my kids and without being married, it was also like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do that anymore without my family.
I think also you would always talk about Olivia being still in school.
Yeah.
So she was the only one left at home, and you had a lot of regrets about leaving her all the time.
I did. It was hard. It was really hard to not be at every single function that she did. I'd never missed a field trip before. I'd never missed, a performance or anything like that. So it was rough. It was hard. It's not for everybody.
Yeah. I don't think people realize that's a tough job. I mean, it's good for single people who want to travel the world, but if you have a family, that's more difficult. And then COVID came around and your whole, I mean, I don't know how much of your opinions you want to share, but
I mean, I'm pretty authentic. So if you're going to listen to my show, and you're going to like me or not like me, I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And so I refused the shot. And so I got fired.
Yeah.
And it
which
was a
I
big
think
deal.
you could join like a class action lawsuit now.
I have been approached by 3 different class action lawsuits actually to file for that. And honestly, I don't want to waste my time on negative things. I have so many things to be grateful and happy about. I don't want to waste 1 minute of the rest of my life on that stuff.
I get that. And I think everything happens for a reason. I always believe that. And you instantly were looking for a new job. And do you want to talk about how you got started working for Dr. Rice? Because
so
you wanted that job really bad. And
I did, but I actually took a little break in between there. And I was like, I need to do something that brings me joy. And so I went on, I don't know if you have heard of care.com.
Yeah.
I went on there. I'd had experience working with kids with special needs prior to that, and it brought me so much happiness that I was like, I just need to do something like that. So I went on care.com and applied for some positions working with kids with special needs. And I had, in the first 2 hours, I had 50 people reach out to me asking for interviews.
This, yeah.
And the first interview I had was with a family right in this area, the Reningers, and they came with their son in a wheelchair and met with me. And I was their first interview as well. And we just bonded and fell in love. And I started taking care of their son, kind of like a respite worker. So it was just always like all of his speech therapy, horse therapy, physical therapy, all these things that he had to do. It was nice to give his parents a break from having to take him to things that were not fun or caused him pain. And so I had the job of doing that every week. And I don't know that I've had a job that's brought me more joy than that. I love that family.
And you're still really close with them.
I am.
Our whole family is close to them.
They're literally like family to us. They are at every event that we have. But the funny thing is, so then Aesthetic Center put out an ad on Indeed looking for someone for a patient care coordinator and somebody that had like a very outgoing personality or something. It was very descriptive. And that family, Holly Renninger,
I didn't know that's how that started.
Saw that, and she messaged me and said, "Hey, I don't know. I don't want to lose you basically to helping us, but also I know we're temporary and I saw this and you need to go check this out." And it was during COVID. So I just showed up at the office one day and asked to talk to John.
Oh, you didn't even apply online?
No, because I knew there'd be hundreds of applicants and I'd just be lost in the shuffle.
Wow.
So I just showed up and sat down with the manager at the time, or I don't know what his role was, the CEO at the time.
Who was it? John. Okay.
Wheeler, yeah. And just told him, hey, you need to hire me for this job. I know I don't have any experience, but I'm literally made for this. Like, I think I've spent my whole life preparing for this job. And he was like, you have 0 experience. And I was like, yeah, but I still think you should give me a try.
Again, like no matter what you want to do, you're just going to do it well.
Well, I don't know that I knew I was going to do it well, but I knew I was going to give it 110%. And I was excited about something in this industry because I love it. I love the beauty industry in general. So they took a chance on me and I've been there ever since, almost 5 years.
Yeah.
And
but your hiring process was slow. You thought you didn't get the job at first.
It was the first time in my life I was like, oh, I must have been a little too much of myself. Well, maybe not the first time in my life. I've probably thought that a handful of times, but I was like, maybe my personality was just too much for them and that's not what they're looking for. I called him every single day and left messages and let him know like, hey, I really want this job. Hey, don't forget about me.
Yeah.
And the sad part, what I didn't know was the person who had the role before me had passed away. and they were going through the process of grieving her as
Yeah.
a family at Aesthetic Center. And so when I figured that out, I called again and left a message and said, hey, I'm really sorry I'm so annoying. I did not know what you were going through. But if you're ever ready or anything, I'm here and waiting. And then they eventually called me in for an interview. And honestly, it was the hardest interview I've ever had in my life.
Really? It was
Including,
long, wasn't it?
it was over an hour. And I think there was 8 people in a circle around me, just rapid fire.
Oh, wow.
And they were all so kind, but it was really like they gave me hard questions and really threw it at me. So I left feeling pretty good about it. And then I got a phone call the next day saying, hey, we'd like to offer you the job. And it was really low pay. It was half of what I was making.
Are you allowed to say that?
Well, no, I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah.
It was really low pay, probably because they were taking a chance on me.
Yeah.
It was half of what I had been making. And I committed to myself, I'm giving this 1 year to prove myself
Yeah.
and prove my value to this team. And then we'll renegotiate.
You told them that?
No, I just knew it in my head.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
with your dad, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm willing to take this,
Yeah.
but it's
But
going
you
to be
did it
temporary.
110%. And
Yeah.
you've been there ever since.
And your dad always says, I don't know anyone who loves her job more than your mom.
Yeah. And so the whole point in sharing that after the flight attendant story is that you are happier than ever. Like you're
100%.
working from, your hometown or close by and able to be there for everything. And you love the people you work with. You always talk about the environment at Aesthetic Center and how great it is and the people you work with. And so everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. It's really fun. It's really fun to have somebody come in. One of my guests on the show, everyone will get to know, her name is Sarah, but she's a great example of like, it's really fun to see somebody come in and that has been so insecure about something, whether it was a car accident or domestic violence or different things that have happened that have made their face not something they like to look at anymore.
Right.
And then to see Dr. Rice revise that or correct that for them and the confidence that they get, like where else in this world do you get to have that kind of a payoff?
There's so many people who have bad ideas about plastic surgery or, injectables or the cosmetic industry like that. And
For good reason, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, there's good and bad with everything, but I also think seeing Dr. Rice work and, changing lives like that, it really, helps people love themselves a little bit more if they're struggling with certain things.
One of my favorite things about Dr. Rice is that he really does have me look out for like body dysmorphia and things like that. And really let people like, hey, we're not a good fit for you.
The vetting process.
Because he doesn't want his name on something that is long-term damaging to someone's psyche or physical wellness. So, just making sure that the people that come in, we really vet and that they're in the right headspace to do some of these changes.
Yeah. I mean, I've met a lot of surgeons, especially living in LA. And I think Dr. Rice is like so humble and calm and no ego. It's so rare to find a surgeon like that. That's also really good.
Yeah.
He's so good at his job.
Rare to the highest extreme. I've been to like a couple parties, one in Beverly Hills in particular, that had the most famous plastic surgeons in the industry at it. Yeah. And I really enjoyed that experience. But when I came home, one of my takeaways was like, wow, Dr. Rice is 1 in a million. Yeah. There's no ego. And I mean, he gets so uncomfortable when I introduce him at an event and talk about how great he is. Right. But not only does he have this like exceptional skill set, but his integrity is on such another level. Yeah. And the way that he cares for his patients and takes care of them and gives them his cell phone number and, all these things. It's like, you're not going to find that. You're not going to find the skill set mixed with that.
I've met a lot of surgeons and have a lot of clients that have worked with surgeons. You won't find that. It's not just about the business side. He actually cares. And I can say that because he's worked on me.
Yeah, me too.
I'm pretty open about it. I mean, like he did my submental lipo and buccal fat removal, and it was so easy and painless, and he takes such good care of you. I didn't have any second guesses or questions about it. It was just a no-brainer.
Yeah. He knows his stuff, and he'll tell you no. If you want something and he's like, that's a bad idea. Yeah,
I love that about him. So why did you want to start doing a podcast? Like, what was your reason behind it?
Well, it's funny. Honestly, I didn't originally that's never been on my radar. Years ago, I interned at Channel 3 as a freelance reporter. And
another time where you just decided you wanted to do something that you didn't go to school for. And you walked into
Channel 3
and
got past
just told
security.
told them that you wanted a job. And they were like, okay.
He's like, okay, you have free reign. Make it work. Thanks. Thankfully, it's worked out. That trait has worked out a handful of times, but
I mean, what are you going to lose?
It might rub somebody wrong someday, but so far it's been a good thing. But I had done that, and just being, years ago when I was raising you guys, I did a lot of freelance commercials, radio work, Mel Repton Honda, Sharif Jewelers. Like I did tons of things locally, and it came very comfortably for me, I guess. I grew up in theater, and I think it just was a really comfortable thing to be in front of a microphone or a camera. And I enjoyed it, and it was good money.
But you're not an attention seeker. I always tell people, because I grew up around beauty pageants and you doing them. I watched you do them as a kid, and I watched you do commercials and stuff like that. You've never been someone that's wanted like me, attention, all about you all the time. Thanks. You're like so confident and sure of yourself, but never arrogant. And I think that's why you succeed, is because it's like coming from a very humble place. And that's rare, because like
you're literally going to start making me cry. I'm messing up my makeup. That is like the sweetest thing to hear your son say. I mean, like,
no, it's true.
It's really
and
sweet.
Watching you do the pageants and stuff as a young kid, I always tell people, I work with a lot of young girls. And so I tell their parents, one of the biggest things that you guys taught us was to never give up on your own goals or dreams. Like I watched you do pageants. I watched Dad do a lot of cycling races and stuff like that. You guys never stopped living your life and having hobbies of your own, which was a huge example to us. And I don't think that a lot of parents do that with their kids. I think once they have kids, they just give up everything and make their kids their life. And that's not a good example. They think they're helping their kids, but it's really not a good example to your kids. And it was great to watch you guys chase after your own goals. I mean, I don't think many kids can say that.
We both agreed pretty early on that we wanted, I want to answer your question about what brought me to the podcast. But before I do that, I want to say kind of what got us to that point as parents was that years ago, I met this gentleman that had, I think, 4 or 5 kids, and they all turned out to be exceptional humans, and they were all very close as a family. And I wasn't even pregnant with you yet. And I said, hey, what's your secret? Like, what did you do in your parenting? Because I had come from a broken home, and it just wasn't the best example in every scenario. It's fine, but And he said, there's 3 things you need to know. The first one is example. The second one is example. And the third one is example.
You never told me that.
Yeah.
Who was this family?
It was someone I met at a job that I was on. And I was just so impressed with them and knew that that's what I wanted for myself. I wasn't married. I didn't have kids yet. I was dating your dad. And I've never forgotten it. And so in all of our parenting, that has been sort of the backbone of like, if you want your kids to turn out a certain way, you better be the example of that way. Yeah. And so that's a big part of why we fought to have our own things, not just be Austin's mom, Savannah's mom, Connor's mom, Liv's mom. But going back to the answer of why did I want to do a podcast, you personally had been bugging me for a long time, years. Mom, you need to get a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You need to get out there and do this. You would be so great at it. People, love to hear your makeup tips or your hair tips or whatever in the beauty industry, even tips on plastic surgery and all of that. And I'm like, listen, I can barely work my iPhone, and that's supposed to be easy. So that is so foreign to me. There's no way I could take that on. Like, put a microphone in front of me and I'd be comfortable, but all the rest that comes with that is not my skill set.
I felt like you were wasting your talent though. Like you have so much skill for speaking or, connecting with people. And even though you're great at your job and you do connect with people on a daily basis, there's more potential for a larger scale to reach people farther. Thanks. So, yeah.
So I've been stewing on it. And so I knew I was going to do a podcast. I had made the commitment to myself, but I was like, I'm going to have to hire somebody to help me with the parts that I do not know how to do.
All of it,
except for the talking part.
Yeah.
And so I got into a relationship with Alpha, and it's been pretty.
No, here we are. But this has kind of been in the works for a long time.
It has been for a really long time. And by the way, that's why we're so dressed up. If anyone's
I was going to ask that next. I was going to say, do you want to explain to people why I'm in a tuxedo, which took me forever
to tie this bow tie? Yeah, I just wanted to celebrate. I'm so, like I said in the beginning, I'm so excited to be moving forward with this podcast and to be starting this that I wanted to get dressed up for the occasion. I wanted to celebrate.
I'm so happy about it. When she asked me to do this, I was like, oh, a tuxedo, really? It's so much easier wearing a dress. I know women will disagree because you have to wear heels and stuff. I didn't realize
that until I helped you tie your tie today.
Yeah, well, I did most of it, just so people know.
Yeah.
You didn't do it for me like my mommy at 33 years old having you tie my tie.
No, but I tried to help.
My shirt was a little tight. It's hard to get up there. But yeah, anyways, so that's why we're in these clothes.
Yeah, me.
Barely able to
My
breathe.
idea. Who's that recipe or cooker lady that's married to Lucky Bluesmith that she always wears a cocktail dress?
Cooker lady?
I don't know.
Nara.
I'm so
Smith.
obsessed
She's
with
so
her.
big on social media right now.
She's Nara. She's so like the way
Yeah.
she talks and everything. That's where I got
Well,
inspired.
I think I don't mean this in a bad way, but I think it's a little bit of an act.
Good for her.
Yeah, but I think like her persona on
because
those
no
videos,
one's
the
wearing a
slow talking.
$5,000 cocktail dress to make.
Right.
You know.
My assistant knows, she always tells me the story of why she started doing that, but it's fascinating. I think it was because she had like health issues or something. So she had to learn to cook a lot of that food by herself.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
She's super cool.
Yeah.
So she inspired me to dress up.
She dresses up for those videos. I don't go on TikTok.
Oh my gosh. It's like this. And she's making like spaghetti from scratch,
formal?
including the noodles and everything.
Oh, wow.
100% formal.
I've seen a couple of them because my assistant shows me and we always laugh because she's like, today I'm going to make homemade gum. We're
Yes.
like, what?
That's exactly it. And then I'm in 20 minutes into it, just like, I think I can make gum.
Yeah. I have no interest.
But I've never tried. So yeah, I just
funny.
enjoy the whole vibe. So I stole the idea from her.
Yeah. What if people are watching for the first time and they don't know you? Because I'm sure a lot of your viewers are going to be friends, family that are going to start watching before they're sharing.
I hope so.
Well, I'm sure.
I'm just asking all my friends. I'm like, here's the deal. If you don't want to listen, fine.
Just go give me a little like 5-star and a
review. Can you just turn it on and walk away, do your things?
Yeah, the download. I think. I mean, I'm not tech savvy like that, but I think the download is what matters.
Yeah, I just want if they would just support me, it'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. But if there's people who have never met you, they come across this. Like, what do you want them to know about you?
I want them to know, like, you can be 53 years old and start over. And you can do the thing that you've been dreaming about doing for years. You know, when I was young, I wanted to be an actress. I enjoyed.
I thought you wanted to be a pilot. You're all over
pilot
the place.
but I'm talking real young.
Okay.
You know, when I was in theater, you know, telling a story and getting to portray something on a stage for, you know, it was never about the audience. It was always about the actual getting to do what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you're never too old. You're never too old to do something new, even if you're not tech savvy and you don't have the skill set. If you love it, it'll probably come somewhat natural to you. And if the parts that you don't know, you can ask for help from other people. So I want to share that first and just know, like, I'm scared. I'm super scared.
What are you scared of?
To fail publicly. Like, that's hard to do. Like, stick your neck out there, share your story, do something like this, get dressed up, show up and be vulnerable in front of an audience is scary, but do it anyway.
You've also, touching on being vulnerable, you've always been super vulnerable. Like with my podcast years ago, we talked about some stuff in our family that's really vulnerable and hard stuff. Yeah. And so I think a lot of people connect better when people are vulnerable. And we've talked a lot right now about you having, like, you know, a wonderful family and being accomplished in whatever you want to chase after. But we haven't touched on the fact that you've been through hard stuff. And that's also been a huge, everyone has a story. I mean, I think that all the time. Everyone has some kind of trial or hardship they've been through. And when you meet someone, you might just see them surface level, happy, pretty easygoing, like everyone's had a charmed life. But if you really dive in deep, you start getting to know them and hear everyone's trials. And you've been through some hard stuff. And when you were talking about example to your kids, you've been a good example of pushing through those hard things. And many people they do say to me all the time that you're a saint. Like some of the stuff that you've been able to overcome makes you a saint. And I think part of that's probably your faith that's helped you kind of get through those hard times.
I'm literally the farthest thing from a saint.
Well, there are times.
I love Jesus, but I do
We
cuss.
could share some videos of you swearing and maybe yelling at us kids, but you chucked a shoe at my head one time.
You probably deserved it, right?
I think I told you, like, you can't get me, and I ran down the stairs and then I got hit upside the head with the shoe.
You don't mess with Mama T. I think, what was your question?
Just like what kind of hard stuff you've been through and how you've overcome it. And I think part of it's been your faith. And
it's a huge, I would say 99.9% of it is my faith. I believe that we were sent here to earth to grow and to stretch and to become better and to live with God again someday. And so for me, understanding that has made hard times like, oh, he trusts me to take this on. He trusts me to do his work through this dark time. He trusts me to be the mother of my kids through these difficult times.
Yeah, I mean, some of the
I
dark
feel like
stuff.
I'm gonna start
Yeah,
crying.
you might start crying. Sniff in. That's a beauty tip for anyone listening
Yeah,
to.
any beauty tip. Yeah, anytime you're gonna cry.
Aggressively sniffing in, it closes the tear ducts.
Okay.
You've been through some hard stuff, like my brother Connor's liver disease, and when I was a kid, I was probably in high school. We went through most of that, and he's had multiple surgeries, and there's a story about me finding him on the bathroom floor after he had been bleeding out in the middle of the night, and no one knew. Rushed to the hospital, and you did years of helping him through that and dealing with him being sick, but also taking care of the other 3 kids. You've been through hard stuff in your marriage. You've been married for how many years?
34.
34 years, and it has not been all easy. And
No.
you're pretty open about it. You don't always want to get into like every detail, especially, there's a time and place for it, but you've been through some tough stuff.
I have. I've also been through some really phenomenal, great highs. And I don't want to like fluff over the hard stuff, because when I was going through really hard stuff and people would try to be like, oh, but look at you're so blessed in so many other ways. I just wanted to punch those people in the face. Like, I was like, seriously, like, I don't want to hear that right now. I want to sit in my misery being mad right now. But, yeah, I think we all go through hard things. I know we do. I know we all go through hard things. And for me, every time I have a new challenge, I know I'm becoming a better person. I'm becoming a better me, a better mom.
You know that in the moment, even when you're going through it?
I do. And I think that's a gift of age. I think that you learn that with age. But like going through it with your brother and all the philanthropy we work with, Donate Life, because of his liver disease, like we as a family gathered around that and we did our best and gave 100%. And the blessings that came from that were so huge. So every single time we've had a trial and we've come out the other side, it just takes my testimony to another level of like, yep, that was meant for me. I was chosen to endure that. I was chosen to be an example of through that to my kids and my friends and my family. And I'm not perfect at it, by the way.
I mean,
my therapist says, when I went to him one time when I'd really lost it, and he's like, here's the deal, Tiff. You could drive through Crazy Town. You can spend one night in Crazy Town. You just can't buy real estate there. And I always remember that. Like, we're all imperfect and we're all going to drive through Crazy Town, maybe even stay a couple nights. And I did. So I don't want to act like I'm so perfect, because I'm so not.
Yeah. But I mean, where you're at, I always say, like, after some of the hardest stuff our family's gone through, it's made me like 10 times more forgiving. Mm-hmm. And I see people differently. I see people as just so flawed and imperfect that we're all going to come to this earth and make crazy mistakes. How can we be expected to be perfect and treat each other perfectly and not make mistakes? But it's all about how you deal with it after,
Yeah.
If you're accountable and you take action and try to change, almost anything I think is forgivable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. What's the hardest thing you've dealt with? Or one of the hardest things?
One of the hardest trials I've had was probably my marriage. Getting through really dark times in my marriage, and things being done that were out of my, like, I didn't have a choice, and betrayal.
Yeah.
Betrayal from really close friends, and betrayal from someone I loved deeply and trusted deeply, and then learning about forgiveness and the atonement and that people can change. That was huge for me. Probably one of the biggest lessons through some of the dark times was that you hear in the world, people don't change. People don't change.
Yeah, I hear that all the time.
And you're right. A lot of people don't change because they don't want to look at themselves.
Most people
It hurts
don't.
too much to look at yourself and see yourself clearly. And so they would rather avoid and dodge and weave.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with people that are willing to look at themselves clearly and say, hey, I don't like this about myself and I'm accountable and I want to become a better person, you can change.
Yeah.
And you can change dramatically.
I mean, we've seen it firsthand, and it's been a blessing in our life to get to experience that. But I think a lot of people don't change because they don't have the encouragement around them, people telling them that it's possible. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel possible when you're in the moment and you know you've messed up, and it's hard and uncomfortable to be accountable and face, bad decisions. But if more people knew, and I think that you'll help people with your podcast, reaching out to people, not even just directly, but them listening and seeing that change is possible, I think people will be more apt to be able to make changes in their life, just knowing that, someone went through it and was able to experience the gift of change and forgiveness and getting their life back on track in whatever way possible.
Well, that's honestly, you just hit on it. When your dad was like, what's your why behind this podcast?
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to talk it out until it was like a dead horse. The why is that. The why is like doing good. The why is creating a space for people to learn and grow, and for someone that's a guest on our show to be vulnerable and safe sharing their story, but also for people that want to listen to, one day you're going to learn about rhinoplasty from someone that suffered, and then another day you're going to learn about beauty tricks from somebody that's been in the industry forever, but what made them vulnerable in those moments to learn those things. Like, there's going to be deep things and there's going to be very lighthearted things on this podcast, and there's going to be a space for everybody.
Yeah, I love that. So the general consensus is your podcast is more lifestyle all over the place, or is it just geared towards beauty? Or
Well, I mean, beauty is something that I just enjoy, so that's probably always going to have a little undertone to everything.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear on that topic. Like, beauty to me isn't just physical. Beauty to me is mental wellness, is kindness, is confidence, is growth as a human. There's so many different aspects to it. So it's not just showing up to aesthetic center and having some treatments.
Right.
I mean, those are the cherry on top. But to me, it's all things beauty. And so, yeah, there will always be sort of that tone to it. But also, Kevin, our producer, and I have talked, and I'm like, hey, I don't want my Rolodex to run out. Like, I want to be able to have a little bit of everything.
Will. Yeah. As long as you keep it broad and you can interview anyone, I don't think it ever will. Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about all things. I mean, even the spicy things like sexual wellness in your 50s.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that with you.
No, I can promise you.
Our family is already too open with each other.
I don't even want you to listen that day. But
okay, yeah.
But
give me a warning.
For the women my age, like I want to talk about the stuff that we're afraid to talk about.
Yeah, that's good for them and for you, but not for me. People are already surprised by how close our family is, and the things that me and my siblings tell you guys. I'm like, yeah,
I know.
We're really
sometimes
open.
I wish you didn't tell me.
Yeah, but then it's kind of funny sometimes when we
you just like
give you guys the shock value. Yeah.
You guys all definitely do that. That's for sure.
It's another podcast episode, maybe like a PG-13 one. I'll share those things.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, I think that's cool. I mean, I'm excited for you, and I think people really benefit from listening to you, and you have a lot to share, and you're good at connecting with people and talking to people. So I'm excited to see kind of what you do with it.
Yeah. What do you think for your demographic is sort of the most, like, what people want to hear about? Like, what's a topic or a vibe that your demographic would be the most interested in?
I don't know. I mean,
like, what advice do you have for me, I guess?
On a podcast?
Yeah.
I mean, I told you last night and today. You
listen to them like 24/7, so I feel
Yeah, I like to listen to podcasts when I work out and stuff like that, rather than music. And I think the best podcasts are when people are really personal and not too guarded and just share openly and freely. And when it's more casual, even though we're sitting in a tuxedo and an evening gown right now. But when people are just really comfortable and open. So it doesn't matter who it is or what it's about, as long as it's authentic, getting to see inside someone's life a little bit more rather than just what you would think on the surface.
What do you think is the cringiest thing you've heard on a podcast, or the cringiest thing done?
Oh, that's hard. I don't know if I have an answer for that. I don't think I've heard anyone be too cringy, as long as it's authentic to you. Like, okay, so the Zach Bryan drama.
Yeah.
Do you know all about that?
Yeah. Is that the chicken something girl?
Yeah, Brianna Chicken Fry. I don't know a lot about it because I haven't listened to the whole podcast, but I heard all the clips, and that's the beauty of social media, is you get to hear the clips and not have to always listen to the full thing. But I do think it's
listen to our whole podcast.
Yeah. I do think it's a little cringy to get too personal or talk bad about an ex. Like, I did a podcast after a breakup once, and I thought
you were super appropriate.
Oh, I do too.
Okay,
if you knew,
because I know the
real story and what I shared on, I mean, I didn't share anything fake, but the version I shared in a podcast versus the actual life experience. I mean, I was very
you were kind.
Yeah.
You talked about what you
learned. Not to pat myself on the back, but I tried to keep it about my own personal experiences and what I learned rather than talking bad about someone. So I think that would be cringe if you talked bad about people.
Yeah.
I think it's cringe when people get too catty or mean. Like, and that's another thing about you that people don't realize. When I started working in the beauty industry, my example was you and my dad and even extended family members never really talking about other people negatively. I mean, we're not perfect. Like we might get a little gossipy like here or there, but any family is going to share candidly behind closed doors.
I only gossip about mean people.
Okay. But you never were intimidated in a way that caused you to go talk bad about people. You know, a lot of people do talk bad about others when they're insecure, and I don't even know if you have an insecure bone in your body, which is kind of like
today,
crazy.
Doing this, but
okay, I don't believe that. But yeah, if someone talks bad about someone, I just think like, oh, I've never in my life, I can be pretty feisty, and you and I are the same that way, but I've never in my life gone out of my way to talk bad about someone or
I just don't want that to be my
mean.
legacy. Like
Yeah.
I went to this funeral a couple years ago, Dylan's grandmother, and all of her, the grandmother's one grandchild from every family got up to speak about her and the things that they were saying. And in that moment, I realized today, who I am today and who I've been in the past is my legacy. That is who I'm going to be remembered for. And so I don't want that. I don't want that attached to my name. And I don't know what you guys are going to say. Probably some pretty funny things.
Yeah, if we're talking about your legacy and the end of your life, should we talk about how you asked to be buried?
Oh, yeah. That's funny. Go ahead.
Some people might think it's morbid. I'm a makeup artist, and she's always telling me like she wants me to do her makeup, and I'm like, there's no way I'm doing your makeup when you die. I'm like, can't we cremate you? And she's like, no. And then she wants to be propped up like this.
On my side?
Yeah.
Like, and invite everybody that never liked me.
Oh, gosh.
But I do want just a basic wood.
Oh yeah, she
casket.
said nothing nice.
Nothing too fancy. I think that's I just don't want to go
you were making so many jokes about how you wanted to be buried. I had to start asking like,
I
really need like strict details here because I might actually prop you up like that if you are saying that you're going to die and we're going to go, oh crap, we never asked her, like, was she serious about that? And then we're going to do it because we didn't want to disappoint you.
It'll be great. Do what you want. I just feel like I want to leave this earth in the most minimalist way. As much as I love the glitz, the glam, and all the fun and all that, I want to leave in the most humble way possible. And
just a pine box.
Simple. And
I mean, cremation's easier.
No,
I've spread ashes at Disneyland.
Crematory. I did a commercial for one before, and I can't unsee that. And so I'm more about the pine box and all that. But I saw one time that people, the family members had a Sharpie and wrote on the like a little sweet message to them.
Okay.
I thought that was kind of cute. I don't know what you guys would write on it.
Yeah, I got to think about that.
Anyway, yeah,
I'm sure there'll be some funny stuff.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. As far as death goes for me, I know where I'm going and I'm cool with it and I'm happy and I know it's better than here. And I know that when I am gone, I'm still going to be able to smell you, see you, feel you spiritually. Like, you know what I mean? Like it won't be hard for me. It'll be hard for you guys, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I feel that way about death all the time.
So I'm pretty peaceful with whenever that happens and however it happens, that I make it great. Let's
Do you want
celebrate.
An open casket?
I mean, if I look good, like if Dr.
Our family has this weird thing. If you talk to the people who work for me, I don't know if I should share this, but we have a weird number of photos of family members who have passed, and they're like all in my iPhone. And so sometimes I'll be like, "Do you want to see a picture of my grandpa?" And I'll show people him pass.
It's from our faith,
and we think it's funny, but everyone else is like, "What the heck?"
Why do you have a picture?
I mean, like if you knew
grandma?
some of my family members, they would think that was funny.
So it's pretty traditional in our faith.
I didn't know that.
We're Latter-day Saints to at the viewing. Before someone is buried, the family will stand around the casket, and it's usually an open casket, and take a photo. So that's why you have those photos.
Oh, weird.
It is weird. Like when I think about it and say it out loud, I'm probably going to lose listeners at this point for us sharing it. But oh well,
I don't know.
It's the truth.
Life is short. You got to laugh.
Give me a second chance.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I don't know if there's much more to share. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that we need, people to know about you before they start listening to more episodes of your podcast?
No, just please support, give me a chance and let's see where this thing goes. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put it out there in the universe. And this is really vulnerable, but like there are not a lot of women in my demographic doing podcasts that are successful. We've got Mel Robbins.
Yeah, I was going to say Mel Robbins is hugely successful.
And she started grassroots and I love her, love everything about her. But I think there's room for everybody to eat.
Yeah.
And so we also, when I research podcasts, that my demographic isn't listening as much, and they're starting to. I think in this next couple of years, you're going to start to see people my age tuning in quite a bit more.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just really hoping to make this big, really big, like Mel Robbins big.
Yeah, no, I think you can. And honestly, even if people your age and demographic didn't start listening, you have so much to offer to younger people, women and men.
Well, and if I don't, I'm going to have a guest on that does. So
Yeah.
I just hope people support the process with me and, DM, your ideas and people you think would be great to have on the show and, things I could do better or something that made you cringe. And I mean, be nice, please.
But honest. We appreciate
honest.
honesty.
Yeah, I do.
We can
appreciate
handle the
honesty.
honesty.
I've got
in our
pretty thick
family.
skin.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just asking that people will support and help my dream become a reality.
Yeah. Now, like any good podcast, where can people find you?
My personal Instagram, Tiffany Thomas Ellison. I am going to
Is your Instagram Tiffany Thomas Ellison? I think it's just Tiffany Ellison.
I don't know. I think it's
I gotta look
Thomas
this up.
because you know why I still have my maiden name on there? Because my friends from high school years ago when we were trying to put together our class reunions, that's how they were able to find me. So I've always got Tiffany Thomas Ellison.
But your actual handle is at Tiffany Ellison.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that will be my Instagram channel for my podcast. I'm not creating a new one. I just want it to be authentic. This is me. These are my grandkids. This is my family. Here we are in the backyard and here we are doing a podcast. You're going to see a little bit of everything on there. So, go follow me there and
love it.
Support.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You had to come all the way from LA. This is your busy time of year. I made you put on a tux and do all the things, but I love you so much.
I love you too.
And thanks for all the really nice things you said about me. It means a lot. If nothing else comes of this, I have that recorded and I'll cherish it.
Yeah, that is cool. Cool.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, subscribe for more stories like this.